Hola amigos, this is Level 12 and today we are going to be talking about how I entered the Hetalia fandom. Now, it's a long story and I put actually watching Hetalia off for a while, almost an entire year, so let's just get to it. So, in my 6th grade, I made a friend who goes by Spooky Cookie on the internet, so I gave her a cookie thing, and in 7th grade, she was like, hey, have you seen Hetalia? And I was like, no, what's it about? And she explained to me that it's about countries personified as people during World War II. And I was and still am a very big fan of countries and learning about history and especially World War II. So I was like, is it on Netflix? When if you type in Hetalia on Netflix, it will show like Hetalia Access Powers, but it'll just give you suggestions because they don't have it, but they know what it is, or they had it at one point, and it's a big deal. And she's like, no, it's on YouTube. And the first season, season 1, oh my gosh, it's so weird to think about it because it's been so long since I've like watched Hetalia. Like, I just make videos about it. I don't watch it. I read the comic a little bit, not a lot, but like I'm just not it takes time away from watching other anime, but it's just so weird to think about that now. Like, I first started watching Hetalia on YouTube and she's like, no, but the first season's on YouTube, all the other ones are you have to go find. And mind you, she told me this in the fall of my 7th grade year, which was, geez, I don't know, 2016, 2015? Sounds kind of right. It was a while ago. I'm about to go into 11th grade, so this was 4 years ago, practically. And she told me it in the fall, and I really didn't pay it much mind. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch it, but I never did. Instead, I'm pretty sure I ended up watching, like, Black Butler was later in my 7th grade year because a guy I liked had said, oh yeah, I like Black Butler, so I watched it because he said he liked it and I wanted him to like me. I ended up watching a lot of animes because I wanted to impress this guy. I have an entire video on it. I'm not going to get into that now. And I also know I watched Death Note. I think I watched the 2nd season of Rosario plus Vampire. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while, but yeah. So instead of watching Hetalia, I watched these anime, and then in the winter, so like December, because I say the fall, but it was like when school started, like September, when Cookie told me about the about Hetalia, and then in winter we were part of this club called International Club. Something like that. It was ran by the male Spanish teacher who ended up getting fired. And the female German teacher, well, we didn't have any other German teacher. She was a chick. And Joanna had shown the video to the German teacher because she took German. I took Spanish. And the German teacher was like, oh yeah, we'll show this because it was the Christmas special. But no one could make it to the Christmas meeting, or we were supposed to have multiple meetings during December, and we only ended up having 1 or 2, which, listen, I was the vice president for that club, and it was literally only me and Joanna who showed up half the time. It was a lot. And I'm really awkward around people, so it wasn't good. So it was winter when I was expecting I'll see it and I never did, and it was that Christmas special, the Gawkin Hetalia Christmas special. It was that one, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, so then in 7th grade, it was near the end of 7th grade, like spring. I don't want to say it was spring break when I watched it, but I remember it was like before all the final projects I had, because all the final projects I had involved Hetalia in as any way I possibly could fit them. Like, we had to do a project for theater, and literally almost everyone's name was a character from Hetalia. That was my level of weebness. But at the end of 7th grade, finally, I watched Hetalia, and I fell in love. I watched almost all the episodes of season 1 in one sitting. I mean, when you think about that, some people would think, oh, well, 12 episodes, that's 6 hours. It was 52, 54, 56. It's an even number of the first season of Hetalia, and all the episodes were like 5 minutes. And I calculated it up at one point, but yeah, it was a lot. It was hyperbolic. So I fell hard for Hetalia. And again, I watched it on YouTube, and it was, at that time, I didn't know illegal anime sites existed. So I was just kind of stuck with season 1, and I just fell in love with it. And I got into all sorts of communities. I learned about the 2Ps. I learned about the 2Ps a lot earlier before I learned about Neotalia. I was just so heavily invested in Hetalia that this image was on the binder of my 8th grade. But, well, we'll get to that. So, it's near the tail end of 7th grade, and my friend Sarah, whose Spanish name was Sophia, which is why Sophia the First, we were... Senior Spanish teacher, I'm not going to use his real name, senior Spanish teacher gave our last 2 tests as partner test, or partner quizzes, sorry. And me and them were seated at his grading table, because our desks were too far apart to squeeze together, so we were seated at his grading table, and we were like halfway through the quiz, and I just randomly say, oh, have you seen Hetalia? And then they're like, oh yeah, the anime with all the countries and stuff, and then we just started fan-personing over like Germany, because he was our favorite character at the time, which, looking back on it now, Germany's still like up there, but he's not my favorite. So, it was a lot. It was a lot. And me and them just kind of connected over Hetalia, and it was great. And then finally, in the summer of that year, I found illegal anime sites, and I watched all of Hetalia that I possibly could, including the movie, which was great. Also, this was the picture of my friend Sarah's binder in 8th grade, so we were both weebs. We were big weebs. And I fell in love with Hetalia. I fell in love so much that almost every project in 8th grade had something to do with Hetalia. I worked so hard to make Hetalia work. In 8th grade, when we had to learn all the states and capitals, that was when I was really amped about doing all 50 state OCs, which I got through like 5. From one of my art projects, I made Hetalia the HEMA, my focus. In science class, I would put memes of like the characters in my binder. It was a lot. Like a lot. The only class I couldn't do Hetalia was math, because it's math class. Which... I was sad, but 8th grade I was such a huge weeb and such a huge Hetalia fan. It was a lot. I was annoying as crap. I will admit that. But, you know, it spilled over into YouTube, which we'll get to in a second. So this absolute relic that you're looking at is the bottom of... If you go to my YouTube channel on a desktop... You go to my channel, you click on videos, and you scroll as far down as you possibly can. This is what you will see until this video goes up. Then, like, there will be one more, but you'll basically see this image. And this were some of the first Hetalia, some of the first YouTube videos I ever did. And I'm starting to look at some of the views on these. Some of them are higher than I thought they would be. I don't know. So, I got into doing YouTube in like the end of 7th grade when I finally got a mic for an English project, and then I had like Powtoon, and that's my first video was on Powtoon. And anyway, so the first mention of Hetalia that I have in my channel's history is in anime terms. As you can clearly see, that's Germany. I used a lot of Hetalia pictures, and it was heavily scripted. I sound really weird in it because I wasn't comfortable talking into a mic. Okay, there's a lot of reasons I sound weird. 1, I wasn't comfortable, again, talking into a mic. 2, I was reading from a script that I had written then and there. 2nd, I was trying to make sure I was doing it really stupidly. Like, I had Windows Movie Maker open, and I timed my audio to the pictures, and it was bad. And also, I was doing it out in my living room because at that time I hadn't moved to my new house where I now have a room with a computer in it. So, yeah. The second mention of Hetalia was actually the first video I did using Google Slides, because then I realized, oh hey, Google Slides. And as you can also see, it was the first video where the YouTube suggestion image wasn't my title slide, and I didn't know how to fix that, so I just left it like that. And I believe Hetalia ranked either 1st, 2nd, or 3rd in that. I can't really remember. It's been so long. Also, why is it 19 minutes long? That video did not have to be 19 minutes long. And so the first video I ever did that was fully dedicated to Hetalia was Does Estonia Suffer from Middle Child Syndrome? Which I really liked doing those videos. Like, as you can see up there, it says What is Wrong with Yuki Takea? And I really liked doing those videos where I would like psychoanalyze characters or do stuff like that. I want to get back into doing that, but it's research, and I've gotten kind of lazy. If y'all would like to see more researched videos, I'd be happy to do it, but I also want to give you guys content. But I really do still like that Does Estonia Suffer from Middle Child Syndrome video. I think it's good. I think I still sound weird in it, but not as weird as, like, my other videos. Whatever. Anyway, so then, in my top 5 albino characters, I mentioned Prussia, because to me, he was albino, even though technically I don't think he's albino. Next, we have top 10 insufferable anime characters, and I, at this point, still really hated Prussia. I hated him to my core, but now he's one of my favorite characters. So, in 2 years, many things have changed. So, he's mentioned in that, and then the first Hetalia video that really took off was the Hetalia characters as the 7 deadly sins, and I've done a bunch of videos like that since. But in 1 week, it gained 50 views, and it gained me like 3 subscribers, and I was in awe, because that was the first video I made with my second editor, and if you did too much with the editor, like you used too many of the options, it left a really nasty watermark, so I only use that editor under like really dire circumstances now, and I was really upset about that, and I still am. And also, like, my audio sounded weird because that editor processed audio differently. It was just it was such a different time. Like, I was really weird. I don't know, because it's still me in all the videos, but like, it's different, you know. I don't know, a lot has changed since then, and I'm happy to see the growth. I'm happy to see where Hetalia has brought me, because I love talking about Hetalia and anime in general, and the Hetalia videos really sparked my channel and sparked my drive for YouTube. I think I'd still be doing it even without the Hetalia videos, but they were a big help, and I forever love them. So anyways, I would end this video here, but so I use Google Slides, right? And in Google Slides, you can have multiple like presentations. So I usually use 2. As you can see here, I have some Vocaloid song explanations, and that was the primary focus of this PowerPoint, like the file. However, I'm probably never going to do one of those videos again, so because my other 2 files, I have 3 files, this is the third one. The other 2 files have like stuff on them that I'm saving to do later, and I was just tired of overloading one file because it makes me feel weird, so we get this one. And before I sign off, I would like to show you my old outro. It was literally just a blank screen, colored something to go along with the video, and it was this. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad. This one makes me so much more happy. I love it so much. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more anime and otaku related content. Ciao, chicos. I don't think the outro's ever changed. I think the outro's always been that. Anyways.